guys. I am very irritated this morning, so I'm having a fantasy lunch for some friends and us. Because why? Because the government won't allow me to socialize with anybody, and it's driving me crazy. So I'm going to do a roast, and then we'll have enough food for a couple of days. But I've got here parsnips, carrots, and then I had half a sweet potato. So I've got those into sort of similar sizes with a bit of olive oil and some honey and rosemary and salt and pepper, and I'm going to roast those. So that will be a lovely sort of sweet, but a little bit of salt and herb coming through there. I'm going to show you how to make the best stuffing ever for roast chicken. It's a stuffing that, again, my mom made for years, and I have never found a stuffing that's better than this one. So just move these potatoes out of the way, because I'm also going to do lemon potatoes, almost like a fondant in that they're going to soak up chicken stock, and then they're going to fry off with a bit of olive oil and get beautiful and crisp and lovely. So for the stuffing, I've got 3 slices of just bog standard bread. This is brown, low GI stuff. So I'm going to mix this, break it into pieces, and then I'm going to very finely chop a small onion, some garlic, some mushrooms, and some chili. And then once I've done that, I will show you what it looks like, and then I will tell you what else we add. So for you guys, my friends who don't live in South Africa, let me tell you about our lockdown. So we have people who are in their 70s making decisions for the majority of the population who is way below that age. And they have decided what we can wear, when we can exercise, for how long we can exercise, what we may and may not put in our bodies. So smokers can't smoke, people who like to drink alcohol can't drink alcohol, because they have decided that that is how it should be. So I've recently read some articles in the New York Times and various other places that are utterly gobsmacked at the audaciousness of the South African government to take those rights away. Legal rights, I may add. So we in South Africa seem to be amongst the most apathetic people in the world. The rest of the world are now starting to rise up and say, enough. We are fed up now. You can't keep us in lockdown forever. We still have to get there. There are quite a few South Africans that are getting fed up, but the rest, the general population, still believes that because the government has said, you know, we're all going to die from this virus, everybody's going to be shit scared. So we all need to start critically thinking now and doing our research and discovering that it's not actually the case. So wake up, people. Because I don't know about you, but I'm not living in this friggin' lockdown for the rest of my life because I'm terrified of a flu bug. And yes, you might die from it, but you might also get hit by a bloody bus when you walk out of the house, or you might get some other illness. So we've got to start thinking, you know, about our lives and where we want to go and how much power we're going to give the governments of the world, really. Okay, so back to the food. I've got the onion, the chili, the garlic in here, and I'm going to do the mushrooms. I'm ranting because I'm frustrated as hell. There doesn't seem to be any end in sight, and if you're really lucky enough to be hunkered down with your family, then it makes it easier to bear. When you don't have your family with you, it is not a pleasant experience, especially when they tell you that there's no end in sight and we don't know when you are going to be able to travel internationally or see anybody. So that's why I'm ranting. I'm really feeling it today, which is why, you know, Sunday is all about family and roasts. That's why I'm doing this today. I'm having my fantasy roast for my friends and family, you know, who I'd love to share it with today. So if you have people in your life that you are lucky enough to be with, please enjoy this day and enjoy making a family meal with love so that we can all get out of this. Right, so I'm giving this a little bit of a mix, and then I'm going to add some sage and then some thyme, two herbs that go beautifully with roast chicken and stuffing, and then salt and pepper. And be quite liberal with it, because this is also going to help flavor your chicken from the inside out and provide some moisture. Some salt, and then I'm going to use lemon. So quite a bit of lemon juice. I am a lemon fan, so I do use quite a lot of lemon in my cooking. So if you don't like lemon, then, you know, of course, don't put it in. But I just think it accentuates many flavors and gives that beautiful balance, that acid balance to things. Okay, the secret of this stuffing is cold butter, which cut into blocks, and it does have a bit of butter in it. And then the trick is to use boiling water, and then that will melt into the whole stuffing so that it just becomes really delightful. Okay, so I've got boiling water here, and that's going to melt down your butter. And you don't want this to be wet, but you want it to kind of break up, and the butter must be melted. And I'll show you the consistency of the mush, if you will, afterwards. And be patient with it. Don't just keep adding water, because the heat of the bread now will start melting the butter, and you don't want it to be complete mush. Just soft and broken up. Okay, have a look here. You can see the bread is no longer in chunks, which means it's broken down and the butter is melting. Remember, you've also got lemon, which is liquid in here, so you don't want it to be too liquid. It must be, because this will now, when it cooks, it won't become terribly firm like a really stodgy pudding, but it will be a lot firmer than this, obviously. Okay, and then I'm going to stuff the chicken with it. Small bird. So if I've got left, if all the stuffing doesn't fit in here, then I will put it into the rest of it into a little container. What I also wanted to show you, which I forgot to do, is what I always do with my chicken, is I just loosen the skin between the breast. Take these wings out of here, and then I always put a bit of butter, and usually if I've got fresh sage, I'll put a fresh sage leaf in there, and that butter then just moistens the breast, and it is delicious. It's a very French way of cooking chicken. I mean, they like to keep butter in with stuff, as you know, but I'll show you quickly. So I've loosened the skin, and then I'm just going to slide a piece of butter up there. And obviously it's easier to do this with cold butter. Okay, now all my stuffing is coming out of here because I'm being disorganized. So you can also put stuffing under that skin. Find different creative ways of doing it. This will swell a little bit, even though I don't use egg. So I'm going to leave that like that, and then just put the rest in a little dish. So I've got quite a few of these enamel dishes which I love. I use them for everything. So I'm going to put the rest of the stuffing in there. And I'm doing these quantities so that you, like for a typical family of 4, you know, so that you can see how much of everything to do. It will just feed us for a couple of days, so that's fine. So put this in here, and then I'll bake this at the same time. The reason I'm putting the chicken in this small dish is because I have to obviously get everything in my oven. And I'm going to be doing the potatoes in this kind of fondant style, roasting the carrot, sweet potato and parsnip, and I still am doing Yorkshire pud, so all of this has to fit in. Salt will crisp up the skin, and we want to flavour it. Voila, that is now oven ready. So I've got some chicken stock here, and I'm just adding some olive oil to this. And I'm going to put this all over the potato. So this is going to soak this up. And then we are going to let this evaporate in the oven. And then roast this off. I'm going to add some herbs to this and some lemon juice. So this is touted as being Greek potatoes, but I'm going to use lemon, and I'm going to add a bit of parmesan at the end of this. So, and use oregano. So arguably it's also got some Italian flavoring as well. I think it's called Greek potatoes because it's got usually quite a lot of lemon in it. So everything's prepped now. Normally in the real world, I would be doing another vegetable at least. But obviously because it's only us, I'm not going to bother. So we've got broccoli, which I'm just going to boil quickly. The potatoes, we've got parsnip, carrot and sweet potato, chicken with stuffing. We are going to have Yorkshire pud as well. And then we will make a beautiful sauce to go with it, and it will be a lovely family lunch in absentia. So these are the potatoes. They've been in for an hour. As you can see, they've soaked up nearly all of the stock. So now I'm going to leave them to crisp up in the oven. The veggies are beautiful. They are soft, and they had quite a bit of juice from the honey and everything, which I've left now. So I'll refresh those just before I serve them. And then I've done this extra stuffing. The chicken is doing very nicely. It's also been in for an hour, so I'll give it another half hour or so because it's not a big chicken at all. It's probably very close to being done at this stage. I'm just going to baste it with this lovely butter and olive oil. So in here is all the dripping from the meat and the stuffing. So this is what I'm going to use as my base to make a gravy instead of using gravy powders and all of that stuff. You really don't need that. So I'm going to use some flour to give it body and to sort of absorb the oil. And of course, because in our family we have huge buckets of gravy, because you can't have, you know, very little gravy when it comes to things like roast potatoes and Yorkshire pud. So fry this a little bit because you don't want that uncooked flour taste. And then I've got one stock pot here, just to, I'd rather use that for flavour than use, you know, gravy powder. And if you've got a really nice, well flavoured base with vegetables that you've roasted your chicken and everything, you don't even need a stock pot. You can just do it as is. I'm being lazy because that's just what I need to do today. Normally I would use the water from my vegetables that I'm cooking, but I put quite a lot of salt in there for the broccoli, so I'm not going to use that today. That's why I'm using this stock pot. So it's picking up all of these lovely little caramelized burnt bits on the bottom of this, because this is what I roasted in my lovely curry pot. So I'm just going to let this thicken and taste it and adjust it. I have added absolutely nothing to this except for a squirt of lemon juice and one chicken stock pot, and it is absolutely delicious. So please make your own gravies rather than use Bisto or that gravy powder stuff. So this is about 10 more minutes in the oven. It's now completely soaked up all of the stock and is starting to crisp up beautifully. So in the last 10 minutes before I serve it, I'm going to whack on a little bit of grated Parmesan, and it will just be really something perfect to go with the chicken. So I put a light dusting of Parmesan on here, and I'm going to put it back into the oven, and in the meantime I put the muffin tin in to get hot for the Yorkshire pud. Okay, so I've taken the potatoes out and this is fine. I'm just going to add them to my other veggies. All this coated now in this lovely Parmesan. Okay, Yorkies are done. So this recipe I have posted. Look how fabulous these are. I mean, really, seriously. This is what Yorkies are all about. My soul feels like it's in shackles. Don't let yours. Have a fabulous weekend, what's left of it. You'll be getting this tomorrow. And we will catch up later. Bye.